Hi, Professor. This is Sai Sandeep Polsetti. I hope you are doing well. Let me share my screen. I hope you are able to see my screen, and thanks for giving the opportunity to present my final presentation on research on information technology. The research topic is the cloud computing that has been illustrated as solitary of major computing models in current world. The agenda of this presentation is what is the role of cloud computing in handling the big data in health organization. These are the contents which I'm going to talk in this video in detail. So let me go ahead with in the introduction part. So in introduction, the cloud computing has become a substantial innovation that has important prominence. It's not just for the facilities on the internet and for the whole information technology market. Its disclosure aims to raise on-demand technology, hardware, and information grading as a service economy of providence of the scale in the dispensation and performance of IT strategies. The cloud computing is one of the foremost computing models in the field of IT. The research proposal is all about the health policymakers and the professionals paying close attention to the big data. So, big data is a term for the large amount of data that this quick increases generates. This data's handling and processing are therefore receiving a lot of attention. One of the most popular options for handling and analyzing this type of data is cloud computing. Cloud computing has benefits for individuals as well as for business and organizations. So we can use it to run software programs without having to install them on our computers and store and access our multimedia content online, create and test new software without necessarily needing servers and more. In a 21st century, Marvel cloud computing is crucial in practically every industry. So this is much about the introduction, and next one will be the specific aims and the purpose. The cloud computing in healthcare represents the execution of remote servers that are accessed through the internet that can be uh, data stores, process the healthcare data, and manages the data. The purpose of this dissertation paper is to ensure that cloud computing ensures the healthcare providers now have access to HIPAA compliant, which is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act cloud storage options for data storage and security. These providers offer patient EMR, the electronic medical record data storage that conforms with a statutory mandatory mandates for data security and privacy. So it's all about a question still exists how big data is handled and what is the role of cloud computing in handling this big data in health organizations. Answering this question ensures the research topic is well understood and there are no problems experienced by the research audience. And next one is a background and significance. Cloud computing has been illustrated as solitary of the major computing models in the current world are discussed based on the previous computing standards that have grid computing, parallel computing, and distributed computing. These kinds of procedures will allow the customers to establish a communication connection to a network of computing resources. This computing offers its consumers three basic service models, which is SaaS, software as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, and IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Technology is dominating the world, and cloud computing is one of the main technologies advancing daily. The topic is good and interesting because it is a topic that is in the line with the current society, and it provides greater flexibility, scalability, quality controlled, increased collaboration, and agility. Technology advancements are necessary to ensure the to everyone that everyone has access to healthcare services at any time and from any location due to high medical cost and upkeep of vast amounts of data in the healthcare sector. And next one is literature review and preliminary data. So for telemedicine and long-term care applications, A new clustering-based compression technique over cloud bases has been proposed. Regionalization, three-dimensional histogram, competitive Hopfield numerical network, which is called CHNN clustering, and the modified block truncation coding are all features of a system, which is a BDC. So regionalization and CHNN clustering can achieve improved clustering accuracy and address the issues with varying beginning values. Big data, IoT, and new cyber physical cloud related approaches are crucial for reducing energy consumption in energy aware cyber physical therapy system, which is TCPS. Through TCPS, a virtual model therapist can direct a patient using skeleton animation, virtual reality, and the recorded model therapy session. Additionally, a live therapy session can be established if a patient requests live tele session to receive an online and immediate response from the therapist. So these are the table which are the side-by-side comparison of important criteria, cloud computing, receiving and sharing the storing the patient information in what are all the remote patient monitoring dynamically and security performance, etc., and improving the communication between energy saving and everything. And coming to the experimental design and methods, experimental design involves a methodology, the research proposal employs in its research development. For this proposal, due to the various types of data used, there are various methods available in the research. For this research, surveys, questionnaires, and analysis of databases and datasets are the main objectives to get the measurements. The goal of the current study is to categorize and review all related studies that have been looked at cloud computing applications in the healthcare industry. The purpose of this study is to understand the following questions like what value does cloud computing have for big data in the healthcare sector, and how can I find articles that explain how cloud computing is paying in the big data healthcare industry, what classification do systems exist for research applications, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of using a cloud-based system to process big data in healthcare industry, what are the difficulties and resolved problems with cloud computing in healthcare systems. So, and protocols and the sequence table, writing a protocol gives the researcher the chance to analyze and access the available literature on the subject to interest, organize and review the project procedures, and act as a guide during the inquiry. The proposal is a necessary document that allows the researcher to keep track of the project's development. The protocol for this research should be the title of the study, introduction, summary, preliminary data, methodology and procedures, analysis and interpretation, and the conclusion. And the next one is data analysis and interpretation. So the voice pathology detection, which is a VPD method, is also recommended as a case study of smart city healthcare sector monitoring. This framework makes use of speech and electrographic EGG signals to different types of input. The internet is used by the input devices and the signals are sent to the cloud. The examinations of the articles reveals that many studies have concentrated on shortening patient response times, boosting safety, and expediting patient care. These are the most significant advantages of big data and cloud computing for remote therapy. So uh, big data healthcare data storage has a potential to lower cost while improving health quality. Big data is also large, that is analysis creates bottleneck. Therefore, to study this data, specialists in the healthcare industry are turning to computer sciences. The new methodology and their advantages. A new methodology that could be used to get an aim is mobile ethnography, a novel and the developing research methodology called mobile ethnography removes boundaries between the researcher and the participant. And the observation process between the researchers and participants is made simple by mobile ethnography. The participants may use their phones to film videos, record responses, and log information in an online journal. Making communication quicker and simpler also makes research quicker and simpler. Um, Technical difficulties are many difficulties are encountered when creating a research proposal. This research proposal, some common challenges, difficulties during the writing the research proposals and projects are discussed, including difficulty choosing the topic of research, lack of methodology knowledge, difficulty locating the current, the specialized and related references, lack of interest in conducting the research, and the lack of subject matter knowledge, and lack of time, and the lack of research guiding, etc. The cloud computing environments enables us to store all PHA at cloud storage rather than locally, and they also verify availability. And what are the limitations in interpreting this? So while using cloud computing in healthcare, it's really used in many areas like reciprocating of medical records in a very easy way and safest side. Supply operators and accounting in automatic format, and the creation will be simplified and the maintenance will be taken care of telemedicine application. Moreover, the challenges still exist in getting on secure and most reliable healthcare applications like kind of self-learning, self-environment, hardware systems, monotony, privacy, and security. The alternate approach to achieving the aims and research assumptions is the alternate research techniques rely mostly on data that is not derived from fact-based research, which distinguishes them from quantitative and qualitative data. Instead, the information gathered is typically based on personal experiences and does not need to be proven. When conducting an ethnographic research study on same topic, this prior knowledge may influence whether the respondents that are taken seriously enough if they disagree with the findings of the previous study. While coming to the conclusion, this analysis, which covered computing applications in the healthcare big data sector through the end of 2018, was given in detail in this report, along with the potential research fields. A wide variety of articles were chosen from the web databases. A first effective searches has used a methodological selection approach. Our study finds that cloud computing in healthcare research may be divided into four primary categories based on the difficulties that have been investigated in previous studies. The monitoring of treatment, environmental protection, receiving, sharing, and storing patient information, and remote therapy. Despite its growing popularity, cloud computing still raises numerous important and valid issues, including the security outages and vendor locking. So the privacy, the challenges with rising health technology expenses, and the solution to the problem of medical picture exchanging, storing, and sharing the issues of electronic medical record were the significant issues that were studied in these recent years. And this is all about the cloud computing, which the big data played a big role in health industries. And these are the references which have are taken. And thanks for providing this opportunity. Thank you.